Every woman that makes her whole personality about hating men actually loves men. You know those gals that just be like, I fucking hate men, I'm a man hater. Babe, you're literally centering men. If you hate men and you decide all of them are shit, then all of them aren't going to be shit for you. It's just a fact. I've been thinking about it a lot recently, like how I view men. Putting the blame on all men just isn't the answer. Like, I've actually got so many good men in my life. If I continue thinking all men are going to treat me like shit, they will. You just have to have like a different mindset on it. Otherwise, nothing will change for you. Unfortunately.
Absolutely. But it's understandable for an emotional being. When a woman doesn't have a husband, she becomes bitter and channels her anger toward what she doesn't have. A man, because deep down, she really wants one. Today we're watching The Men Are Gone. Modern women face a loneliness epidemic. But before we get started, give us a like and leave us a comment. Let's begin.
I have officially been single now for 4 years, which sounds like forever, but I want to make a series on things that I've actually learned since being single. When I was younger, when I was dating, it was more so, how funny is the person? How much time can they text me throughout the day? Like, do they plan dates? You know, very like superficial, emotionally selfish wantings. I don't know if that's the right word I'm using right now. As I've gotten older and experienced life and had to suffer a great loss, everything I want is so much more different. Like, yes, I want a man that's financially stable. Yes, I want a man that has his head screwed on. But like, emotional intelligence is literally at the top of my list. I have dated and they've had everything, but they've lacked emotional intelligence. And that's enough for me to just go, you're actually never seeing me again or speaking to me again. And some may think that's really strict, rough, harsh, don't know what I'm looking for. But to me, if I can't talk to you about emotions, and I'm not saying like I'm gonna cry on your shoulder, but just having an emotional intellectual conversation, if you can't hold that, it doesn't matter how many other things you can offer. Like, you know, when people just try and love bomb you and just buy your way into your life, it doesn't work no more.
So I just found where all of the hot men in Los Angeles are. The hot men are at the gym, more specifically at the new Santa Monica East Equinox. I like to say the gym is my dating app, simply because that is the only place that I go that has men. The gym is my third place. It's somewhere that I go on a consistent, regular basis that isn't work and isn't home. When I go to the gym, I talk to people. I don't care if you think that's weird. I don't think it's weird to try and cultivate human connection. That is a literal lost art. But guess what? It's a skill that you can learn. When you start to go somewhere consistently on a regular basis over time, you will start to see familiar faces. You will start to make friends. You will start to meet people. You just have to keep showing up. Keep you updated, but today was my first day at my new gym and I gotta say, it looks promising. So, fingers crossed.
I'm just going to ramble here. Just moan about London dating, because what is going on? Don't get me wrong, I know there's an epidemic. I know it's going on all over the world, in most of the cities. Honestly, deep breaths. But what is actually going on with London dating? Like, seriously, it's a joke. People are on dating apps, and I mean the good ones, like Hinge, for example, and not asking you out on dates, not actually going forward with planning, booking a date. You know, you're not on there for a pen pal. Don't really think you're on there for a hookup, especially something like Hinge. And yeah, it just seems to be an absolute shit show. Like, basically, out of however many people you start talking to, you'll get 1 or 2 dates out of that. And then even then, those dates that maybe you think are going well, or you're keen to give it a try, you'll get to number 2 or 3. And then normally after date 2 or 3, one of you isn't interested. So yeah, then there's ghosting, and then there is time wasting, and people aren't putting in energy to make dates. And like, I get it, it's long, it's tiring, and dating is annoying and a chore. But like, honestly, if anyone's got any tips on how to meet people, I barely drink, I don't go clubbing, I don't hang out at the pub, I don't hang out at bars. And if I do, it is normally with a girl mate. And then I'm like, okay, you know, now and then, fine, I'm here, whatever. Then no one approaches. No one comes up to you. What is going on? Is this happening for everyone else? Because for me and all my close friends that are single, it's the same for them.
Stop it. Get some help.
I'm being ghosted, I'm unopened, I'm undelivered. Here's the thing, girl. If you want a relationship out of this man, what you are getting in the talking stage is what you are going to get in the relationship. You are going to get a man that is leaving you undelivered, leaving you unopened, and ghosting you at his convenience. And it's not what you're lacking, because what you give, you're not always going to get back. But that's always what you are. You are 100% of what you give. A man that gives you nothing is nothing. He's just a ghoster. He's just a man that plays games. You who put your best foot forward, you are going to be the energy that you receive. That's it. So leave him. It's not hard.
Women are going through a silent loneliness crisis, and it's destroying their self-esteem, especially between the ages of 20 and 28, which is their golden window, and they're throwing it away by staying single and chasing cheap thrills. At that stage, they should be laying the foundation for building a family, but the only men approaching them are chads who put them on the carousel, ride them for a while, and then get off without looking back. That's why I'll say it clearly. There is no epidemic of male loneliness. There's an epidemic of single women crashing headfirst into the wall, ending up in therapy because they can't find anyone serious, while men have woken up, are focusing on themselves, and are putting themselves first.
Guys, hear me out. A guy best friend. Everyone thinks we're dating, but we're not. But we spend like 24/7 together. We work out together. We cook together. We do everything together. But we're not dating. We like have sleepovers and don't kiss or anything. We just like are best friends. And then this goes on for like years and years, but we're both secretly in love with each other, but like we don't even admit it to ourselves. And then like 5 years down the line, when I'm in a place where I want to be financially, etc., we like he randomly one day like kisses me and like admits that he's in love with me, and then we get married and have babies. This is a dream situation. This is my dream trope. You know how people are like, oh, I love enemies to lovers. No, best friends to lovers. But the problem with this situation is I'm never gonna find a man who's just gonna be my best friend and not talk to other girls during this time period, and I won't let him talk to other girls. I'd be so pissed. And I'm also not gonna talk to other men. So then we'd practically be dating, which makes me think that I would just be repeating history because I've totally lived a situation like that.
Unfortunately, we have started measuring men by how well they can behave like a woman in marriage. And I know personally this was one of the biggest things that caused me to face consistent disappointment in my marriage, and I believe it's why a lot of women are emotionally disappointed in their marriage as well. Here's the thing. We have been taught that a man is a successful communicator, or the best type of communicator, when he shows up like a woman would, when he responds like a woman would, when he processes things emotionally with us like our girlfriend would, when he notices the little details like a woman would. But where did we define that standard? Because biblically, God created male and female, and that difference was not a design flaw. God created us differently for a reason, yet we get in these cycles of disappointment when our husband doesn't show up like our girlfriend. And so the question has to shift from, why isn't he responding the way I would? Why isn't he responding the way my friend would? To, how did God design my husband to show up? Because God designed your husband to be compatible with you, male and female, but they're always going to seem like they're failing you emotionally when you expect them to show up like a female. Your husband is not supposed to be your girlfriend. And I say this with love because I was so disappointed in this for so long, until my husband was like, listen, babe, I'm not a girl. And I was like, you're right, you're not. That's why I have girlfriends. That's why it's so good to have anointed female community, because he's not my girlfriend and I don't want him to be.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Emotional labor and mental load are just dumb phrases that people came up with so that women can make basic adulthood seem like oppression. They like to believe that ordinary responsibilities are some sort of evidence of systemic injustice, but it only really applies when the woman is the one doing them. And they just negate the fact that there are mundane aspects to being an adult, and not every household chore is some sort of burden inflicted by the patriarchy. Feminism has just encouraged women to view responsibility through a lens of victimhood, and instead of acting like a grown-up and just telling their husband or boyfriend or whatever that they need more help, they've turned loading the dishwasher into some bizarre case study on oppression. One of my favorites is when they say, well, if I ask my husband to do it, he'll just do it wrong. He doesn't do it the way that I like, so I just have to do it. Sounds like a you burden. You sound like you nag. If you ask your husband to go to the grocery store and he comes back with the wrong brand of pickles or he didn't get organic grapes this time, you use that as some sort of weaponized incompetence instead of acknowledging that he's at least trying to help. And maybe next time you guys go together and you show him which ones you like, and then, act like a grown-up. Just act like a grown-up. The best way to drive a man out of your life is to be nagging and berating towards him. Oh God, those are the worst kinds of women. And also, if you really think about it, if every single attempt he makes at being helpful gets met with criticism, then why would he keep volunteering to help? Now, if you are with a guy and you're the one paying the bills, and you're the one dealing with all the finances, and you're dealing with the car, and you're dealing with the house, and you're also working full-time, and you're taking care of the kids, kind of sounds like you married a loser. Okay? So that, again, sounds like a you burden. But not every single little inconvenience is oppression. You guys really need to grow up. You need to take accountability. You need to take responsibility, and there are so many aspects of adult life that are boring. All of us go to work, and all of us are tired and don't want to go to the grocery store. And sometimes your man is going to buy the wrong kind of pickles, and it is not that deep, okay? So, just chill.
No man wants to be the guy in the friend zone, the one you use for entertainment only to leave with another man afterward. As for the complaints about household chores, I saw a video a while ago where a man was filming his wife buying tomatoes. He took the tomatoes she had already chosen, put them in the bag, and showed them to her as if he had found them himself. She rejected them, even though they were the exact same tomatoes she had chosen earlier. That's how almost everything in the household is. The man helps, but she doesn't like it because it wasn't done her way. And even if you do it exactly the way she wants, she'll still find something wrong with it. So there's no way to win.
Men disgust me so bad, and the reason I've been celibate for 4 fucking years is because I genuinely don't believe that these motherfuckers deserve to even fucking be around me, let alone touch me. Just like, for example, we're on the phone the other night, and I'm asking him a bunch of shit. He's not asking anything about me. He's just saying that he already likes me and like immediately wants to go on a date with me. I'm just like thinking to myself, like, you literally don't know anything about me, you fucking idiot. But okay, I tell him that I'm celibate and that if we do end up going on a date, I'm like, don't expect anything, literally anything, because he started to make jokes that were leaning like a sexual way, and I was starting to get irritated. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you thought this was. Hello? Hopefully the police are coming to get me because I need help. So I like literally go into a rant saying like, okay, I've been celibate for X amount of time. I don't hook up with people. I'm not hooking up with you. I'm not doing anything with you, babe. This fucking imbecile of a man proceeds to ask me within a span of 10 minutes after if I want to have phone sex with him. The blatant disrespect genuinely makes my blood boil so fucking much because, bitch, who the fuck do you think you are? 1, 2, are you that fucking dumb? I genuinely, like, my blood has been boiling for 2 days thinking about this. And this is why I don't go on dates, and this is why I don't hang out with men. Because if you go on a date with them, 9 times out of 10, they are like that man, and they expect something out of it. You're not getting shit out of me, bitch. Other than a big fuck you, okay?
If you disagree with me, please DM me because I need to broaden my thinking because clearly they're teaching something in Harvard that we don't. Because Samira, the plus size girl, is Harvard trained and she's saying that there should be plus size mannequins. That sounds small, but to me, it's like way bigger than that because I think there already is plus size mannequins. I've seen them in Target. I swear to God I have. And I feel like at this point, the plus size that she's marketing is just obesity at that point. Obese people can't move. They have no mobility. There's a difference between obesity and people who physically cannot lose weight because they have a thyroid problem. They're doing the best they can without fucking using Ozempic like Ariana Grande and all these people. And that's just that's what they're dealing with. That's what it is. And I don't think it's fair to just like, obviously the clothes has to fit the person, not the person fit the clothes. But at what point is it like too much? 600-pound life, it's great that they have clothes to wear, but that doesn't mean there should be mannequins for it, for 600-pound people, for kids to be like, okay, that's normal. It's okay. Let me just keep eating until I can't move. And I have to get a surgery to remove the weight because I can't go to the gym to remove the weight. It's not a fat phobic thing. It's just like, girl, are you trolling? Because that's not normal.
She says she hates men, but there she is, still talking to them, seeking them out, and needing their attention. And while we're at it, let's talk about Ozempic, which is becoming a real danger, especially for women who use it as a shortcut to avoid setting foot in a gym or breaking a sweat. Now, this girl is actually doing something right. She's choosing to remain celibate instead of giving herself to the first Chad who throws a cheap joke her way. I'll give her credit for that, brothers. Not every woman falls into the carousel. But the problem isn't her celibacy. She's looking for standards in the streets where they don't exist. A street man isn't going to wait around for anyone. He doesn't have to, because there are always 10 more women outside who are willing. If she wants respect and patience, she should look in church, in her community, among men with values. Not in the same pool where the guys who only want one thing are swimming. What she's doing is right. The problem is where she's looking for it. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, these questions are for you. Why are there so many single women today? Do you think there is a real epidemic of female loneliness? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.